Every day, the prisoner pretended to swallow his medication. The second the guards looked away, he spit every pill back into his hand. Hidden inside his cell was an expensive bottle of antibiotics. He tied a fishing line around the bottle, secured the other end to one of his back teeth, and swallowed it whole. Then he dismantled a cigarette lighter, hiding the tiny flint beneath his fingernail. Finally, he wrapped a shoelace around his wrist, braced his thumb against the edge of a table, and with one brutal twist dislocated it on purpose. The pain was unbearable, but he never made a sound, because he knew this would be his only chance to escape. The inmate was serving multiple life sentences for murder. Escaping prison seemed impossible, until fate handed him an opportunity no one could have predicted. The prison warden's young son was dying from leukemia. After months of searching, doctors discovered that only one bone marrow donor was a perfect match, the most dangerous prisoner in the entire prison. He agreed to donate, but only if he was allowed two special privileges inside prison. First, he wanted permission to smoke. Second, he wanted access to the prison computer room. The guards thought he simply wanted cigarettes and books. They had no idea he was secretly stealing blueprints of the hospital where the transplant would take place. Every hallway, every security door, every emergency exit. He wasn't preparing for surgery. He was planning the perfect escape. The surgery had barely begun, but the prisoner was already making his move. As the anesthesia flowed into his veins, he quietly forced the bottle hidden inside his stomach back up into his mouth. Inside were the antibiotics he had secretly saved for weeks. Instead of swallowing the sedatives, he took the antibiotics, preventing the anesthesia from putting him completely under. Moments later, he closed his eyes and pretended to be unconscious. The doctors believed the operation was going exactly as planned, but beneath the surgical restraints, his broken thumb became the key to his freedom. Because it was dislocated on purpose, he easily slipped one hand out of the restraint. The medical team noticed something strange. Minutes had passed, yet the patient's vital signs showed almost no response to the anesthesia. Confused, the doctors prepared another injection. That was their biggest mistake. The prisoner exploded into action. With one powerful kick, he knocked the doctors to the floor. Then he pulled the tiny lighter flint from beneath his fingernail. One spark. That's all it took. The flammable gas inside the operating room ignited instantly. A massive fireball ripped through the room, throwing guards in every direction. Gunfire erupted across the hospital. The prisoner escaped the operating room, but not before taking a bullet in the leg. Ignoring the pain, he sprinted through the corridors as alarms echoed throughout the building. Within seconds, the entire hospital was placed on lockdown.